Marcus is a man who resides in a psychiatric institution. One night, after receiving a message from his brother Rudd and becoming convinced that he needs his help, he decides to escape. He tells his ward mate that he is leaving and that Rudd needs him. He sneaks around, steals a key, and crawls through the vents, but ends up falling back into his room. He then goes for plan B, breaks out through the window, steals a car from the lobby, and drives away. The next day, we meet Rudd, an ambitious businessman dedicated to the real estate business whose job consists of selling luxurious properties through a reality show. Although he is the brother of a billionaire, he has always lived under his shadow, and his greatest desire is to surpass him. However, the production of the show demands that he improve his performance if he wants to maintain its success. Rudd and his assistant, Mia, are getting ready to meet a big TV crew, which makes Rudd nervous. Mia comforts him. Then Ollie and Leonore, the showrunners, walk in. They all sit down and are shown what to expect in the next season of the reality show, featuring veterans like Haley and Kieran, as well as Rudd's hedge fund billionaire brother Josh. Rudd is repelled when he sees the commercial, saying that he never shot those scenes. Allie tells him it's AI, and they do it all the time to spice things up. Rudd makes it clear that he doesn't like the fact that they kept putting him in second place and under Josh's shadow, and that he wants the show to focus solely on him. Leonard likes the new pitch and says that if he can bring it to the table, they won't even need Josh, so they all agree on that. Meanwhile, Marcus has sent an email to Mia saying he is on his way. Mia tries to tell Rudd about it, but he has a busy event and says he doesn't like surprises, so she keeps it to herself. On Marcus's way, he sees a pair of siblings on the road, stops to admire them, and is suddenly struck by a truck. Rudd attends the charity event with his wife Deirdre, telling her that he booked the show and that all the things he hasn't been able to do will finally come true. Josh is also present, and when Rudd goes to meet him, Josh's friend mistakes Rudd for a worker. Josh corrects him and mentions that Rudd has booked a show, though this is not enough to impress the elites. Rudd also finds out that Josh is selling his house without having consulted him. At the gala, Deirdre makes a speech thanking everyone who donated, including her husband Rudd. Then Josh goes to the stage and surprises everyone by bringing Paris Hilton on a video call, who announces that she is donating $100,000 on Josh's behalf. The crowd erupts in thunderous applause as Josh once again takes away the spotlight from Rudd. Back home, Rudd keeps ranting about how his brother always does this and how even his compliments are passive-aggressive. He goes on about it for days, and Deirdre has had enough. She has adopted a crippled dog and says she will be taking care of it for the next few days. Rudd tells her she needs to stop the habit of bringing wounded animals home. Their kids are also fighting, with one saying the other stole the girl he liked. Rudd consoles him and says that Josh always did the same thing to him, but that it doesn't affect him, and he is a better person. Just then, he gets a call from the hospital telling him his brother has been in an accident. He and Deirdre rush over, but upon arriving, they are both startled to discover that the injured person is not Josh, it is Marcus. The doctor explains that Rudd was listed as his emergency contact, which awakens a long-buried memory. Years ago, as part of a charity program in college, Rudd had to become the older brother of a child for a day. He met Marcus there and took him under his wing, even trying to teach him basketball, though Marcus was horrible at it. Marcus told him he was an orphan, and Rudd promised they would be brothers for life. For Marcus, that experience meant the birth of an eternal bond. For Rudd, it had been nothing more than an act of charity done for his college resume, something he had completely forgotten. Deirdre is shocked to learn all of this. Just then, Marcus wakes up and is overjoyed to see Rudd. He tells him he had some free time and got out of a long-term gig and wanted to come see his brother and his family. He is visibly moved by how beautiful Deirdre is and says she is lucky to have the best man in the world as her husband. When the nurse comes in and tells them Marcus will be discharged that afternoon, Rudd is alarmed, given that Marcus had suffered skull damage. Marcus casually explains that one of his foster dads put him inside a washing machine years back and caused the damage. He then mentions that he has nowhere to stay. Deirdre immediately says Marcus can stay with him. Rudd pulls her aside and says she can't take pity on him, like a stray dog. But Deirdre says he has no one and needs someone to take care of him in these tough times. On the way out of the hospital, Rudd asks Marcus to be careful around the car as it is brand new. Marcus agrees, but in the very next moment, he scratches it while reversing his wheelchair. Once they arrive home, Rudd takes Marcus to the garage and shuts the door. He confronts him and asks why he is there. Marcus tells him it was because of the emails. Rudd says he knows nothing about any emails. He tells Marcus to go inside, tell Deirdre he has somewhere else to stay, and leave. But when Marcus meets Rudd's sons for the first time, it brings tears to his eyes. The boys ask how long he is staying, and instead of sticking to the plan, Marcus says he is missing his real family and needs to see them. Deirdre calls Rudd's bluff and announces that Marcus is staying with them. Rudd attempts to carry Marcus upstairs, but drops him. He then tries the wheelchair, drops him again, and causes a crash. He is frustrated and says he can't stand Marcus being there, but Deirdre says he has to deal with it. She adds that his reaction is abnormal, and perhaps has something to do with the relationship he shares with his real brother. That night, Deirdre hears a noise downstairs and goes to check. She finds Marcus watching their wedding video. She tells him things used to be perfect, but now all Rudd can talk about is his job, and the constant comparison with Josh has taken a toll on him. She just wants her husband back. Marcus tells her it seems like they haven't been intimate for a long time, and she confirms it. Marcus promises that he will get the old Rudd back, and they will become the happiest family again. He gets some wine, and they drink together. The next morning, Marcus makes breakfast for the kids, and they love it. He offers to wash the dishes, joking that his sweat smells like cat piss. Deirdre heads out to the vet with the dog, and suggests Marcus join Rudd at the shoot. Rudd is dead against it, and Marcus says he will simply stay home. Suddenly, the oven catches fire. Marcus had left something inside. He puts the fire out, but Rudd realizes he can't be trusted alone in the house and decides to take him to the shoot. On the drive over, Marcus tells Rudd he owes him a basketball rematch. He also mentions his conversation with Deirdre and tells Rudd he needs to plan a date night and get more intimate with his wife. Rudd insists he doesn't have any problems and that he is simply too busy with work because he wants to give his family the best life possible. Marcus says Deirdre doesn't want all that, and that if Rudd could just spare some time for her, things would get better. Rudd cracks a smile for the first time. Just then, Josh calls and Marcus picks up in excitement. Josh doesn't recognize him, and when he realizes he is talking to Rudd, he mentions that Rudd looked bad the other night and tells him he needs to take care of his mental health, adding a dark joke that people his age tend to snap and hurt their families. Rudd brushes it off and says he is perfectly fine and ready to shoot for his show. When they arrive at the location, Rudd tells Marcus to stay inside the car and warns him that if he tries to leave, he will break his leg. Before entering the set, he pulls Mia aside and confronts her about the emails. She admits that she was the one who had been writing back to Marcus all along, as she was moved by the letters he sent. She felt he was a good listener and didn't want to hurt him. Rudd is not happy about it. Inside, while he is getting his makeup done, Kieran comes in and tries to make him nervous, warning him that not everyone who is told they are in the main cast actually makes it. If the showrunners don't like your first shot, they won't call you back. He advises Rudd to play it mysterious, like a secret agent, so the audience can't figure out which side he is on. On set, Lenore announces that Kieran and Rudd will play enemies in the episode. The shoot begins, but Rudd follows Kieran's instructions and acts as a decoy. The crew doesn't like his take, but when Kieran steps in, they love his shot. Rudd asks for another take. Meanwhile, Marcus is inside the car when he gets the sudden urge to pee. The door is locked and he can't hold it in any longer. He finds a slight gap in the window and attempts to pee through it. He loses control midstream, soaks himself, and accidentally kicks the window out. He climbs out and tries to clean the car, but a truck passes by and rips the door clean off. The cameraman notices what is happening outside and brings it to the crew's attention. Rudd rushes out to see the destruction, but the crew keeps shooting, capturing everything. Marcus apologizes for the mess and calls himself a messy little brother. Suddenly, a scooter hits him. Mia helps him up and they bond immediately. Marcus starts to bleed, and Mia reveals to everyone that he grew up across 16 different foster homes before he met Rudd through the Brothers program. Marcus is stunned that she knows all this. That night, Rudd is furious with what happened at the shoot. Deirdre says she understands and offers to help him de-stress. She tries to get intimate with him, but she accidentally uses one of Marcus's phrases and Rudd immediately connects the dots, realizing the whole thing was Marcus's idea. He refuses to take relationship advice from him and dashes out of the room. While working out, he hears noises coming from the office. He goes to check and finds Marcus with the nurse from the hospital. Her boyfriend is also present and says he likes to watch. Marcus shuts the door and says he will keep it down. Rudd runs to tell Deirdre, expecting outrage, but she only wants to know whether it is a three-way or whether the boyfriend is just watching. She says Marcus is just having a little fun after everything he has been through, and she is happy that at least someone in the house is getting some action. Later, Marcus goes to drop the nurse and her boyfriend off, but they quickly get frisky again as the boyfriend records. Rudd takes the opportunity to go through Marcus's belongings. He finds a photo of the two of them together and, most importantly, Marcus's hospital ID tag from a psychiatric facility. He calls a family meeting for the next morning. But just as he is about to confront everyone, his phone rings. It is the showrunners, and they tell him that the episode has already taken off. People have taken a massive liking to Marcus, and everyone loves the story of a rich white man reuniting with his poor black brother. Lenore makes it clear that if Rudd doesn't want to play along, they can simply run the show around Marcus instead. They say the title sequence will now feature both of them, and Rudd immediately changes his mind. He goes back to the family and tells everyone he was wrong. Marcus is his brother, and even though he was hostile at first, he wants to put everything behind him and have his brother back. The announcement brings tears to everyone's eyes. Deirdre then reveals she reached out to the show Little Brother, Big Brother, told them Rudd's story, and they want to award him as the honorary Brother of the Year. Marcus will present him the award, and it will be covered widely by the media. The show takes off. They get enormous media coverage and land brand deals. Marcus is elated to be living and working alongside his brother. Deals are flooding in for Rudd, but it is all driven by people's love for Marcus's eccentricity and charisma. Kieran becomes completely sidelined and pulls Rudd aside, warning him that Marcus will soon take over entirely. The network will fire Rudd and make Marcus the face of the show. Kieran tells Rudd he needs to close $1 million deal, so the showrunners are forced to keep the camera on him. If he fails to do that, he is finished. Rudd calls Josh. Meanwhile, Mia finds Marcus making coffee and plays his favorite music. He is instantly excited and shocked because he and Mia share the exact same taste in music and coffee, things he had always talked about in his emails as being Rudd's thing. He slowly begins to realize that the person he has been corresponding with and the real Rudd are two very different people. He asks Mia for advice on how to get closer to Rudd. Mia tells him that Rudd has always been insecure and that if Marcus can step back and let Rudd shine on the show, things will improve between them. Marcus says he had no idea and promises that from now on, he will make sure Rudd gets his due. Rudd meets Josh and proposes listing his house on the show and giving him a shout-out. Josh says he doesn't need any of that, but as brothers, he will give Rudd the deal. He also mentions he is throwing a party at his house that weekend and that they should announce it there. Back home, Marcus asks Deirdre whether she and Rudd have finally been intimate. She says no, that Rudd is still too uptight. With his characteristic bluntness, Marcus suggests she try giving Rudd a rim job, which causes Deirdre to spit out her wine. She insists it is gross, but Marcus assures her it is the best thing a man can experience and urges her to give it a try, promising it will make Rudd a changed man. On the way to Josh's party, Rudd is completely distracted, suspicious of why Josh agreed to the deal so easily. Deirdre has had enough and forces him to pull over. She kisses him and, taking Marcus's advice to heart, gets to work right there in the car. The kids happen to drive past and are baffled by what their parents are doing. Marcus calmly tells them that one day they will understand. They arrive at the party with Rudd, looking significantly more relaxed and confident. Deirdre tells Marcus she did it. Marcus pulls Rudd aside and tells him that tonight the spotlight belongs to him. He will stay in the background and let Rudd have his moment. Mia is also at the party, and Marcus tells her how great she looks. Rudd goes to meet Josh and tries to be super cool, but his jokes don't land. Marcus steps in to help, and Josh notices him immediately, inviting him to join the group. Marcus blends in effortlessly, and everyone is captivated by his zany humor, which deeply bothers Rudd. Josh then takes Marcus, Kieran, and Rudd to the bathroom, where he takes out some drugs and offers them around. When he tries to offer some to Marcus, Rudd immediately intervenes, citing Marcus's mental condition. Wanting to look unbothered and fit in, Rudd ends up snorting the entire batch himself. Josh tells him he was only supposed to inhale a tiny amount. Everyone else declines and they all file out, leaving Rudd behind. Rudd stares at himself in the mirror and begins to hallucinate. He sees Marcus as the devil and tells himself he will not let Marcus take over. Tonight is the night everything stops. He tears up the dance floor in his drugged state. Outside, Josh quietly approaches Marcus on the terrace and reveals to him that all the drama earlier was just theatrics he was putting on for Rudd's benefit. He just wants Rudd to look good on camera, and Marcus wants the same. They hatch a plan. Josh will dramatically pretend he is going to hand the house listing to Marcus instead of Rudd, making the moment more exciting for the show, before ultimately revealing it goes to Rudd. Deirdre tries to check on Rudd, but he is convinced that Josh and Marcus are conspiring against him. When Marcus asks Josh if he can share the big news with Rudd, Josh agrees and calls him over. Rudd approaches and, in his paranoid hallucinatory state, misreads the whole situation entirely. He breaks into a run toward them, trips, and accidentally sends Josh flying off the balcony. Josh hits the ground and stops breathing. Marcus immediately declares that he knows how to perform a tracheotomy. He races down and asks Rudd for his metal straw, jabs it into Josh's neckline, and sucks out the obstruction. Josh coughs up the gumball that was blocking his airway and begins to breathe again. The crowd erupts in applause, hailing Marcus as a hero. Josh is taken away in an ambulance. Rudd, more furious than ever, explodes in front of everyone. He tells them that Marcus is not his family. He is a scam artist who was trying to steal the house deal from him. He calls Marcus a liar and pulls out the psychiatric facility tag he found among his belongings, revealing to everyone that Marcus is an escaped patient. Marcus goes quiet, then comes clean. He admits he lied to them, but explains that telling the truth could have meant losing everyone. He has been rejected by every family he has ever known. Things got so bad that he was thinking about taking some drastic measures, which is when he checked himself into a recovery center. But it didn't help. He thought he was destined to be alone until he began receiving those emails. At that moment, Mia steps forward and confesses that she was the one behind all of them. Marcus tells her she catfished him. Rudd tells Marcus he is a stranger, and that is exactly how strangers are treated. Those words visibly shatter Marcus. Deirdre is horrified by her husband's behavior, but Marcus says he understands and quietly leaves. The crew, delighted, has captured every moment of it on camera. Kieran congratulates Rudd for pulling it off, but his own family leaves without him. Back home, everyone refuses to talk to Rudd. The next morning, he finds the old photograph that Marcus had kept with him, of the two of them together years ago. He remembers teaching Marcus basketball in the brothers program. Then Josh had shown up with his fancy car that day, and Marcus had asked if they would meet again next week. Rudd had promised they would, but the moment Josh left, he told him he had only done the whole thing for his college resume. That was the last day Marcus ever saw him. Leonard calls to tell him they will be covering the award show and that everyone loves a redemption story. They want to bring Marcus back so Rudd can apologize to him on camera. Their reunion will send the ratings through the roof. After the call, Rudd sits down and reads every single email Marcus had ever sent him over the years. His heart breaks. Marcus had idolized him, looked up to him the same way Rudd always looked up to Josh. He had never had any malicious intent. He had simply wanted a big brother. On the day of the award show, Rudd tries to thank his sons for coming. They tell him they are there for Deirdre, not him, and walk away. He thanks Deirdre for making everything happen, but she icily tells him it is her job to lie for fake causes, and that is all she is doing. He finds Mia, and she tells him that Marcus has blocked her. She genuinely liked him, but he worshipped Rudd. Rudd then spots someone in the crowd with Marcus's distinctive look and rushes over, only to find it is a stranger. Leonard informs him that it is a Marcus replacement. They will use him to present the award and then digitally replace his face with Marcus's in post-production using AI. Just as they always do. Back at the psychiatric facility, the patients are having a group session when Marcus suddenly drops from the ceiling. He has tried to break back in by sneaking through the roof. The doctor tells him he came voluntarily and can leave whenever he wants, and that there is nothing clinically wrong with Marcus. He is just socially unusual. Determined to stay, Marcus smashes a window and stages a full psychotic breakdown, forcing them to admit him at the ceremony. Josh joins them on stage, speaking through an electrolarynx after the balcony incident, though the doctors say it is only temporary. Deirdre introduces Rudd as the most caring big brother. He gets up on stage, and the fake Marcus joins him to present the award. Rudd begins his speech, and looking out at the room full of brothers, looks over at his disappointed sons and realizes he cannot go through with it. He tells the audience that he is not a good brother. In fact, he is the worst one. His whole life he has been blaming Josh for everything, never realizing he was doing the exact same thing to Marcus. He has disappointed his family enough. He cannot accept this award. He walks off the stage and tells Mia to get the car. Leonard pleads with him to go back up, but Rudd tells her their contract is over. Deirdre watches him leave with a look of quiet pride on her face. True to form, Leonard was prepared for this too. She calls out a fake Rudd to join the fake Marcus on stage, and the two of them accept the award together. Josh pulls Rudd aside and tells him something he has never said before. He never wanted Rudd to feel insecure. In fact, he is the jealous one. Rudd has something Josh does not, a beautiful family. With that, Rudd runs to get his little brother back. He asks Mia to drive him straight to the facility. At the facility, Marcus is reuniting with his old roommate, who shows him a replica figure he carved to keep himself company while Marcus was gone. Marcus tells him he is back for good and he won't need it anymore. Meanwhile, Rudd arrives to find the facility locked. He trespasses, asks a patient for directions to Marcus's room, and climbs in through the window. The roommate sees him and opens it to let him in. Marcus is upset and does not want to talk. Rudd apologizes. He tells Marcus he took him for granted his entire life and that he is sorry for not being by his side through the hardest moments, including after he lost his parents. He tells him he has read every single one of his emails and that he finally understands everything Marcus went through. He has left him alone once before, and that is never going to happen again. Marcus, moved to his core, steps forward, and they hold each other tightly. They leave the facility together, both promising to be brothers for life. Outside, Mia is waiting. She apologizes to Marcus for all the lies and tells him she genuinely liked him and did not want to lose him. In a moment of spontaneous joy, the two of them break into a duet of the song that had connected them through all those emails. They patch things up and decide to start a relationship. Marcus tells her he cannot wait to get intimate with her, but first he has one thing he needs to do with his brother. They head to the basketball court for the long-awaited rematch. Marcus is still just as terrible as he always was. Every shot comes back and hits him, but Rudd laughs and promises that this time he is not going anywhere. He will stay until Marcus learns everything. Marcus finally sinks a shot, to the joy of them both. Marcus has now been added to the family picture.